Let me go ahead and channel my inner Brent Musburger. You are looking live at the Las Vegas Strip on an early Sunday morning as we get set for NFL Week 7 here from the Link Studios overlooking the fabulous Caesars Palace. Alongside Anita Marks, my name is Joe Fortenbaugh. How to bet the Chiefs and the Titans and everything you need to know for a wild day in the NFL coming your way. If you're looking for stuff regarding the Heisman Trophy race or the NBA or Monday Night Football specifically, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. Anita, I want to be nice, but you had the Ducks yesterday. I had the Bruins. I'm already down a bottle of wine. I think today's going to be a little contentious between us. How you doing?
Was it a bottle or was it a case?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe the case, Joe. Maybe the case.
The wager's always bigger when you're on the winning side, you know? If you had lost that, it was probably a natty light, right? All right,
Maybe
let's get to work.
Yellowtail.
Yellowtail. All right, let's begin with market movers, some of the games that have experienced the biggest moves this week. And right at the top of the board, the Atlanta Falcons, who opened as a pick'em for their showdown with the Miami Dolphins today, are now up to a 1.5-point favorite. We've seen a little bit of under money as well from 48 to 47.5. Keep an eye on that. We've got 4 key games. Anita, as you look at that Atlanta-Miami game, are you surprised at all that the money was coming in on the Falcons?
I am. I think the wrong team is favored here. Joe, you and I are athletes all week long. All we've been hearing about is Deshaun Watson possibly getting traded to the Miami Dolphins and how teams don't want Tua. The Atlanta Falcons, they don't have Dante Fowler today, and their defense is horrible. This has got to be a stage for Tua to say, okay, I'm going to show you the Miami Dolphin organization, I'm going to show you Dolphin fans, and I'm going to show you the NFL that I am worthy of being a first-round draft pick at the quarterback position. I love the Miami Dolphins here, and I think Tua is going to shine today.
Every week, the NFL has one game where I look at it and I say, no matter which team I bet on, I would lose this game. That is this game. That's the game. Miami, if I bet Miami, I'm going to lose. If I bet Atlanta, I'm going to lose. It is the ultimate stay away game for me. Take a look at that Houston-Atlanta line as well. The Cardinals are massive favorites. They open as a 17-point favorite to face the Texans. It is now up to 19.5. From all indications here in Las Vegas, it's not just the public that likes the Cardinals. It's the sharp guys as well are jumping in on Arizona. So I don't know if today's the day Houston gets off the schneid, at least based on that Jacksonville win they had back in week 1. But we'll see. Popular survivor pick as well. All right, speaking of picks, let's get into some picks. We're going to begin with a segment called One and Done. 4 games featuring teams with 1 or 0 wins this season. First game out of the chute, the Los Angeles Rams are laying 16.5 points, total of 50.5, as Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions traveled across the country to LA. Anita, the floor is yours. How would you attack this game?
Yeah, I don't like betting double digits. I just don't. You never know. This is the NFL. These guys get paid a boatload of money, and I hate that possibility of that backdoor cover. I'm going to play this as the team total over for the Rams. As we know, this is Matthew Stafford going up against his former team. Just seems like the Lions have lost a little roar the last 2 weeks. It really stinks when you are that bad, and no matter what your effort is, you're constantly losing. Their defense, no match for Matthew Stafford. Game script, Joe. I see the Rams coming out strong, putting up a monster lead in the first half, and then coming out in the second half, running the ball with Henderson, maintaining the lead, their defense, keeping them up there. Again, I think they put up a lot of points in the first quarter. I like the over team total for the Rams.
The Lions have scored 17 or fewer points in 5 straight games. I'm going to take a page out of your playbook. I'm going to go with a prop here. Matthew Stafford's longest completion over 40.5 yards. There are only 2 teams in the NFL who have given up more plays of 40 or more yards than the Detroit Lions this year. Very susceptible to the long ball. And Stafford has been fantastic going deep this season. He's eclipsed this mark in 4 of 6 games he's played. 67 yards against Chicago, 44 yards against the Colts, 75 yards against Tampa Bay, 68 yards against Seattle. Detroit ranks 31st in opponent yards per play this season. I think Stafford and possibly Deshaun Jackson good for at least one big play in today's game. Let's keep it moving. The Arizona Cardinals, as we stay in the NFC West, laying 19.5 points, total of 47.5 against the Houston Texans. Do you like the dog here, Anita?
I do, but I like them as a teaser bet. I'm going to play them in a lot of 2-team 6-point teasers. I'm going to tease them up. Be looking ahead to next Thursday night against the Green Bay Packers. They just might. Listen, Arizona's going to win this ballgame, right? They're going to win. We know that. I think folks are sleeping on Mills. I think he's a better quarterback than what most people think. He's got some good days and some bad days. Here's another key for you. Texans get their center back today, Justin Britt, and I think that's going to be crucial for the rookie quarterback. So I'm going to use the dog. I'm going to use the Texans as a 2-team 6-point teaser. Tease them up to almost 24 points. I think that's the play here, Joe.
You are getting almost a quarter century worth of points in an NFL football game that's still 60 minutes from what I understand. This is crazy. I'm going to go ahead and play Houston as well here. I'll take the 19.5. For me, it's all about the situation. Look at what the Cardinals have been through. 3 huge games in a row. They beat the Rams, division rival. They beat the Niners, division rival. Then they travel across the country and beat the Browns in a highly anticipated matchup last week. And then this Thursday night, they're going to host the Green Bay Packers in a game that very well could be for the number 1 seed in the NFC. And wedged in between all of it is this cow dung Houston Texans team that can't seem to get anything right. We're asking him to stay within 19.5 points. I will take a shot on the Houston Texans. Game number 3, a game near and dear to your heart. It's in your location. Carolina coming to the Big Apple. Well, North Jersey, let's be honest. Laying 3, total of 43 against the New York Giants. Does Big Blue get it done today?
Absolutely not. In just minutes before we started the show, I'm just being truthful. Word is, I was texting with a few of my contacts with the Giants organization. Looks like Sterling Shepard is not going to go today. So if you got Sterling Shepard on your fantasy football roster, make sure you take him off. Does not look like he's going to go today. Who's Daniel Jones going to throw the ball to? Darius Slayton is going to be his lead wide receiver. Evan Ingram expected to be active, but he's dealing with a calf issue. There's just too many injuries on this team. So I am now feeling the Carolina Panthers at -3, but also I like the under here in this game. And again, I know some people feel teasers bets are for suckers. Call me a sucker then, because I've been winning all season long with 2-team 6-point teasers. I'm going to tease the under down to 48.5, 49. I think the under hits in this game, Joe.
Okay, I'm right with you on that. I'll play under 43 points in this matchup. All the reasons you mentioned about the New York offense, completely agree. They're lacking a ton of firepower. Now let's look at the Carolina Panthers, The defense has been better this season under Matt Rule. But what I want to focus on is how they're going to attack the Giants from a defensive standpoint. Sam Darnold has thrown 6 interceptions in his last 3 games. He's starting to get sloppy again. So what's the best way to avoid Sam Darnold making big mistakes? Run the football, right? Well, guess what? New York ranks 29th in run defense. You can run on them. And if you can run, you can grind the clock, and you can control the tempo. I like this game to go under 43 points, as do you. Final game in the segment. The Atlanta Falcons laying 1.5, total of 47.5. They're in Miami taking on the Dolphins. I got a suspicion with where you're going, but I'm teeing you up. What do you like here?
Yeah, as I said when we opened up the show, I think the wrong team is favored here. You know, Tua coming back, looked good last week. That offense moves a lot differently when he's under the helm, obviously, than Jacoby Brissett. I like the chemistry between him and Waddle. For Atlanta, I know they're coming off of a bye, but Dante Fowler, their best defensive player, one would argue possibly best player on the team, is not going to suit up and play today. So I think that opens up things for this Miami offense. And like I said, this has got to be a stage, Joe, for Tua to say, hey, enough is enough. Enough talk about Deshaun Watson. Like, I'm the quarterback of this team, and if they don't want me, somebody else must want me, and I'm going to show you all the reasons why. I'm expecting Tua to come out and use this as a major platform and major stage to strut his stuff and show the NFL what he's made of.
All right. I hate this game, as I mentioned at the top of the show, so I'm going to give you a lean. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a lean in this game. And I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons only because of the situation, all right? Atlanta is off their bye week. Miami just played in London and lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They didn't get the bye. They had to come home. Now, playing on the East Coast is not as dramatic of a trip, but that's still a lengthy trip with a lot you have to go through. Miami has lost 5 straight by an average of 15 points per game, but to Anita's point, that wasn't necessarily with Tua. That was with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, who really couldn't get anything going. Atlanta won 2 of 3 going into the bye. Maybe Arthur Smith is figuring something out, but like I said, this is just a lean. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I know this game is going to be very difficult to cap. Let's go from those 2 teams to some divisional leaders, and we begin with the Baltimore Ravens. They're riding a 5-game winning streak since losing the Week 1 opener on Monday night in Las Vegas against the Raiders. They are set for a monster AFC North showdown with the Cincinnati Bengals today. And for more on that game, we go live to Baltimore. Here's ESPN NFL reporter Sal Paolantonio.
Joe, the Bengals will go against a Ravens defense today that is very underrated, running under the radar. But you got to watch one specific thing, and that is that defensive coordinator Wink Martindale will bring the blitz on 3rd down. All year long, he's been number 1 in bringing the blitz on the money down. 48% clip right now going into this game against the Bengals. And the Bengals offense has some real problems when they get into the critical situations. Let me read you these numbers. The Bengals are 30th in 3-and-out percentage, 30th in red zone drives, and 29th in plays per drive. So you can stop them when they have to move the chains.
Sal Pal going with the Blazer 3/4 zip combo. I dig it, Sal Pal. Do you, son? Do you? Let's pick the game. Baltimore laying 6.5, total of 45.5. Do you like the underdog? Do you like the favorite, or are you going in a different direction?
I really like Cincinnati here. Listen, we know at any point in time, Lamar Jackson can walk into a phone booth, put on the cape, come out, and take over a game. There's no denying that. But let's give credit where credit's due with Joe Burrow. He's having a great season. I like Cincinnati, but I want to buy up the half a point. I'll buy it up to +7 at -130. You can also get it on William Hill at +7.5 at -145. That's the way that I would play this. Some interesting stats here real quick, Joe. The Ravens, 4th most blitzing team in the NFL. Joe Burrow, 6th best offensive line against the blitz, 82% completion percentage, 6 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, and 44% of his touchdowns come from outside of the red zone. So, and their defense is quite good. The Bengals defense is quite good. I think this is going to be a great matchup. Ravens might win, but I don't think they're going to win by more than 7.
That's the analysis I like. I like it a lot because I'm right with you there on the Cincinnati Bengals. Give me the points with Cincinnati here. All the talk this season has been about Burrow and Jamar Chase on the Cincinnati offense. Rightfully so. They've been fantastic. But take a look at the defense. Top 5 in scoring defense, top 5 in opponent yards per play. Some will say those numbers are propped up a bit based on a weak schedule, but you can only play who's in front of you, and the Bengals have shown up week in and week out. They also see Lamar Jackson twice every year. They do have familiarity with this offense. Not saying they shut him down, but 1 or 2 stops here or there throughout the game, covering 6.5 points in a divisional matchup. That's a big number. Give me the dog in this spot. Let's keep it cooking. We go to the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have been fantastic since they lost their season opener against the New Orleans Saints in Jacksonville. Green Bay laying 8.5, total of 47.5, hosting the Washington football team who got blown out last week by the Chiefs. How do you attack this game?
Yeah, Washington is just an infirmary right now, and even the players that are expected to play today, they're dealing with injuries as well. Antonio Gibson, that shin injury is pretty concerning as well. You said it. Green Bay, they're playing great. They're at Lambeau. This is a Washington defense, probably one of the biggest disappointments this season, giving up 16 passing touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks. I think Aaron Rodgers has a monster day here. I love Green Bay here, and I'm going to be using them as one of my 2-team 6-point teasers.
I can't fault you on the tease with New England. The 8.5 number that Green Bay is, that's a perfect teaser number. You're moving through the key number of 7, through the key number of 4, through the key number of 3, all the way down to 2.5. That's a valuable teaser. Quietly, I like the Washington football team. I'll take the points in this game. Not a pick I love. Don't go nuts. But I think the situation drastically favors Washington. Green Bay off a huge win against division rivals Chicago. Aaron Rodgers continues to own the Bears. But in 4 days' time, Green Bay is in Arizona taking on the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. And then this game is wedged in between. Washington got shellacked last week by the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're being a bit undervalued. Anita's right. They've been terrible this season and they're banged up. But I just feel something smells in this game. Bunch of points. No Jair Alexander, Pro Bowl cornerback for the Packers. I'll take the points with the dog in Washington. Tampa Bay, talking about big favorites. They're laying 11.5, total of 47 against the Chicago Bears. What's your favorite play here?
Yeah, listen, I like Tampa, and I'll lay the 11.5. Nagy, the way that he calls plays for Justin Fields, he doesn't let the kid throw the football. He's averaging 20 passing attempts a game. That's the only way you beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. You can't run on them. Running backs are only averaging 3.2, 3.4 yards per carry. So they're going to have to pass the ball, and I think that's going to be really dangerous for Justin Fields. I just don't think he's ready for that. So the way that Nagy's going to call this game is going to be really intriguing to me. But I think this potential, it smells like a blowout to me because I don't think Justin Fields is ready for that Bucks defense.
Yeah, complete agreement on this one. I know it's a big number, and I know the money's coming in on Chicago. I'll lay it with Tampa Bay. I mean, first of all, Tampa Bay's had 10 days to get ready for this game. They're off a Thursday nighter against the Philadelphia Eagles. In addition, you take a look at Chicago's offense, 30th in scoring, dead last in yards per play. They don't get a whole lot going at any point this season. Tampa Bay's defense isn't going to be stretched out vertically. You're not going to be able to run on them. Brady's got some injuries. There's no Antonio Brown. There's no Rob Gronkowski. So keep that in mind. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think Tampa Bay hangs a big enough number, and Chicago's defense is going to be stretched thin. Bucks get it done. Now, we also have a marquee matchup on today's card that happens to be a rematch of the 2020 AFC Championship game between the Kansas City Chiefs and Tennessee Titans. That is taking place in Tennessee later today. For more, we go to ESPN reporter Kimberley A. Martin, who is on location in Nashville. Kimberley, as always, we appreciate your time. Kansas City currently leads the NFL in giveaways at 14. 8 of which are Patrick Mahomes interceptions. What are the Chiefs saying about their current struggles on the offensive side of the ball?
Listen, guys, if you think this Chiefs team is short on confidence, think again. Patrick Mahomes understands that in order for us to win games and be playing late in January and even February, he's got to cut down on the turnovers and the interceptions. But it's funny, tight end Travis Kelce even had to remind him after a really uncharacteristic interception last week against Washington. He said, bro, just be you. Being Patrick Mahomes, that's kind of good enough. So Patrick understands that he just has to be him and everything else will fall into place.
Kimberly, girlfriend, we have come so far, both of us, from hanging out at the Giants facility to hosting on ESPN, man. I'm so proud of you. Keep on crushing it. Let's talk about the Tennessee Titans, all right? A lot of injuries here as well. Fill us in. Wide receivers, offensive line. How is that going to affect Derrick Henry today?
Yeah, so first off, the good news is Julio Jones was expected to play, and he is active. He's had the hamstring injury. And A.J. Brown, who's made it known that he had some issues with Chipotle food last week. But I saw him during warm-ups, and I said, are you okay? And he gave me the thumbs up, and he's like, I'm good. So he's active. Here's the thing that you do need to pay attention to, though. On this offensive line, Taylor Lewan, he's out still with the concussion. So Kendall Lamb will start in his place. Kendall replaced Lewan last week against the Bills. And Ryan Tannehill praised Lamb, said he did a good job in replacement. But this is a Titans team that gave up 20 sacks in the first 5 games of the season. So they need to keep protecting Ryan Tannehill.
Kimberley A. Martin on location in Nashville for today's Titans-Chiefs showdown. Doing a fantastic job as always. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you.
All right, time to pick the game. Kansas City laying 4, total of 57.5. This is my favorite segment of the show because we have none other than the prop queen herself here to lay out her entire menu for this game. And if you haven't noticed, make sure you go to ESPN Chalk to check out her record. Anita has gone Kurt Vonnegut on the NFL this season, Slaughterhouse 5. That's how she does it. Now, we're going to get to the props in a moment. But right now, when it comes to the side or the total, what's your favorite bet?
Yeah, listen, I'm going team total over here as well for the Kansas City Chiefs. You imagine, Joe, this Tennessee Titans defense, they have to face Josh Allen last week, and now you have to double down and face Patrick Mahomes this week. Their defense had 72 snaps last week against the Buffalo Bills. Their secondary is depleted. They are gassed out. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a monster day with all the weapons that he's working with. So I like Kansas City here. I like Kansas City's team total over. I believe right now it's sitting at 30.5.
I'm laying the 4 with the Chiefs. I love that stat about how many plays Tennessee's defense was on the field last week against the Bills. You gave that out on Daily Wager this morning. I took that stat. I went on ESPN radio. I stole it for myself. I gave it out. No attribution whatsoever. I pretended like I came up with it, and I sounded like a genius. Thank you, Anita Marks. This is the type of game Kansas City wants to play. If they're going to succeed, it's going to be shootouts against bad defenses. When they go up against a team that's got a good D like Buffalo, they're going to get stopped. But against Tennessee, who ranks bottom 8 in the NFL in scoring D and opponent yards per play, they're going to be able to roll up their points. Titans banged up, Titans off the short week. Kansas City gets it done minus the 4. And now, the moment we've been waiting for, Anita's prop menu for the Chiefs-Titans game. I'm just going to sit back. Go ahead and do your thing, girl.
I have 3 for you in this game, right? And again, you know, I look at prop bets and I think game script. I think Mahomes in this Kansas City offense is going to come out strong. I got over 2.5 touchdowns for him. He's got multi-touchdown games all season long. In 4 of his 6, he's hit that over 2.5 passing touchdown mark. And I like Darrell Williams today. I think Kansas City is going to go up quick, fast in the second half. Williams is going to carry the ball. So over 14.5 rushing attempts. He had 21 last week and over 2.5 receptions because he is utilized in the passing game with those quick, short dump passes from Patrick Mahomes as well. So over 2.5 receptions. So those are my 3 Cheesecake Factory prop bets I've got heading into that matchup.
Love it. I'm going to give you an easy one and an obvious one. It's Patrick Mahomes over 329.5 passing yards in this game. I'm not going to overthink this one. He's going against a bad defense. He's the guy who needs to get it going for the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't going to completely shut down Tennessee in this game, so they're going to need to throw, presumably, for all 4 quarters. Allen just threw for 353 yards against this defense last week. Mahomes just touched up Washington for close to 400. I see another big day in the future. Now, let's turn our attention to what we like to call the no-huddle offense, where we rip through rapid fire a handful of games on the card that we haven't already touched. Let's begin in the AFC East. The Patriots laying 7, total of 42.5. How do you make some money on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to use this as, again, a 2-team 6-point teaser. I'm teasing the Patriots down. This is a Jets team. They have not scored 1 point, not even a field goal, Joe, in the first quarter. They're going to be playing from behind. Chances are Zach Wilson's going to have to pass the ball a lot, and we know the track record with Bill Belichick, his son, the defensive coordinator, scheming these exotic blitz packages against Zach. It's going to be a long day for him. I like the Patriots.
Stephen Belichick, much like Lady Gaga, a star is born with all this work he's getting on the sidelines these days, licking the lips. Get him a chapstick endorsement for crying out loud. I'm going to play the under in this game. It's 42.5. We know what Belichick does to opposing rookie quarterbacks. He's a career 23-6 against them. He forced 4 interceptions from Zach Wilson back in week 2. Jets off the bye. Robert Saleh, a defensive mind, wouldn't be surprised if they give the Patriots some fits on offense. Under 42.5. Game that's near and dear to my heart right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The Raiders are laying 2, total of 48.5 against my Philadelphia Eagles. Do I even have a shot today, Anita, with the Eagles?
I don't think so. I like the Raiders here. They impressed me last week. I thought they were going to wave the white flag with all that happened with Gruden, but of course they came out strong. Now they're back home in that fan base. And Derek Carr is having a very good season. A lot of people aren't aware of this. #1 quarterback in completion percentage in explosive passing plays of 20 yards or more. And I think their defense is going to be able to contain Jalen Hurts. They're able to get after the quarterback without blitzing. I like the Raiders today.
I spent a lot of years coming up as a busboy at a variety of well-known restaurants. And one of the jobs of a busboy is to take the trash out to the dumpster out back which absolutely stinks. It's the worst part of the job, and in the heat of summer, it's a disgusting place to be. I bring that reference up because this game smells worse than that. Philadelphia has been terrible. The Raiders just blitzed the Broncos. The game opened 3, and it's been bet down to 2. It's moved off the key number of 3 down to 2. Somebody knows something. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to follow the move. I'll take the Philadelphia Eagles here. Philly's had 10 days to get ready for this game, and I don't know about the status of Raiders tight end Darren Waller. If he can't go, that's going to make Philadelphia's job a lot easier on the defensive side of the football. Let's go to the Bay Area. Sunday Night Football. The San Francisco 49ers laying 3.5, total of 42 against the Indianapolis Colts. How do you want to attack it?
This is my favorite play, and that's the Colts getting the 4 points. Again, another game where I think the wrong team is favored here. Pay attention to the weather. There's horrible, horrible weather out there on the West Coast, specifically between San Francisco and Seattle. Weather conditions are supposed to be really bad. I see a game of a lot of Jonathan Taylor in that backfield for the Colts. I like their offensive line. Carson Wentz, a healthier Carson Wentz than Jimmy Garoppolo, who's going to get the start tonight, but dealing with a bad calf. So I really like the Colts here. I like the Colts getting 4.
Complete agreement. Niners 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread at home this season. Trouble in paradise for Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. This is what we call, when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts, by the dip. They're starting to find their form. They had a lot of hype coming into the season, but all the injuries and the slow start, everyone forgot about them. There's an opportunity here. Don't be surprised if they win the game outright. Monday Night Football, the New Orleans Saints off the bye, traveling to Seattle, laying 4, total of 42.5. Who do you like in the final game of the week?
I like the Saints here. They're coming off of a bye, and I think this is Jameis Winston's coming out party. What do I mean by that? I think Sean Payton releases the guy that we know who can throw the ball all over the play yard, and that's Jameis Winston. I think he's going to open up the playbook in regards to the passing game, and I think Seattle is going to have a difficult time contending and contesting that.
Excellent. I have an opportunity to win a bottle of wine back from you that you got from me on the Oregon-UCLA game. Thanks, Chip Kelly, for running the ball into the middle of the line every single play. I'll take Seattle. You're going to tell me that Jameis Winston is going to lay 4 points on the road on Monday Night Football in front of a packed house in Seattle in a game that could have some rain and wind? No bueno, as you like to say, Anita. No bueno at all. I think there could be trouble there. I'm not exactly thrilled about the proposition of backing Geno Smith, but I'll take the points with Seattle in what could be a messy game. Time to take it to the bank. Final bet of the week on the NFL card. You're up first. What's it going to be?
Listen, again, I know people say teasers are sucker bets. They've been winning for me all season 85% of the time. My favorite 2-team teaser bet today. Patriots tease them down to -1, -2 in some places, and the Green Bay Packers tease them down to -1, -1.5. 2-team 6-point teaser, Patriots, Packers, best bet.
All right, I like it. I like it a lot. I think you're in a good situation there. Those are 2 good teaser numbers. I'm going to go to that New England game. I'm going to go under 42.5 total points, as mentioned earlier in the show. Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks and what Robert Saleh has done with the Jets defense. 20th in opponent yards per play last season, 8th in opponent yards per play this season. They're getting better, and they've had 2 weeks to prepare. I think they can give Mac Jones some trouble. Ultimately, New England gets it done, in my opinion, but I see the game coming in under 42.5 total points. And before we bring down the curtains on this fine program, let's talk about the World Series. Long live the king. The king is dead. The Dodgers are out. See ya. Take a hike. The Atlanta Braves got it done in 6. They finished them off last night. So it's going to be the Braves and the Astros in the 2021 World Series. Houston is a small favorite at -145. Braves coming back at +125. Initial thoughts on this series? Anything you want to discuss? Floor is yours.
Yeah, Astros have more experience here, right? 3 times in the last 5 years they've made it to the postseason, where Atlanta, this is their first time here since 1999. Here's what I anticipate. I anticipate Atlanta to at least win one of the first 2 games, and I think the value in placing the bet on the Astros winning the series will be more lucrative for you. I think that value will come down. It's -145 right now. So I'm going to sit back, I'm going to watch Atlanta win one of the first two, and I'm going to see how that line takes a better value for folks out there who want to put their money on the Astros.
I like the approach. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring series. Wink, wink on the overs. Keep an eye on those. Of the 6 starting pitchers that are projected to go in this series, 3 on each side, 5 of them are right-handed. These two teams crush right-handed pitching. Home runs, weighted runs created, weighted on-base average. They massacre it. And these 6 guys, they haven't had a great postseason. I think it's going to be a high-scoring, entertaining World Series. She's Anita Marks. I'm Joe Fortenbaugh. This has been Bet. Best of luck to all of you today. Thank you for watching.